at it again, and we've got a pretty interesting one here. We've got even more people outraged once again. It's become like clockwork at this point, you know? It's like, well, what are people going to be outraged today about? There's always something, right? Well, in this situation here, we have a coach who was actually fired for praying after his football games. The school cited that, you know, it's a separation of church and state, and he was in violation of that. Well, SCOTUS ruled, and I believe a 6-3 ruling that he had the right to do it. Let's take a look at this video, though. Let's dive in.
Continuing on this subject, we want to now bring in the person at the center of this latest ruling, this morning's case, the football coach, former football coach, we should point out, Joseph Kennedy, and joining him is his attorney, Kelly Shackelford. He's president and CEO of the First Liberty Institute, a Christian legal organization. Coach Kennedy, I got to imagine you're feeling good today, but talk to us. What's your reaction to the Supreme Court's decision?
You know, I'm just so thankful for everybody that supported me and the court's ruling in my favor and all my lawyers, everybody. I'm just, you know, so thankful that it's finally over, and it's so awesome. I think it's a great ruling for America that people of faith or no faith, everybody has the same rights, and that's what the, you know, Constitution is all about. It's rights for all Americans.
Right. And so to that point, Coach Kennedy, what would you say to a player on your team who perhaps, you know, would feel pressured? Here's his coach, right? The guy who he wants to get playing time from. He wants to please you. And maybe he or she is not religious at all and wouldn't normally play before a game, but might feel that it might be some way to curry favor with you, or it might be what everybody in the team is doing, so they have to sort of pray along. You know, what would you?
Nah, see, I'll squash that argument right from the jump. If a coach wants to keep their job, they have to win games. The end goal is to win games, unless the coach doesn't care about getting fired. I mean, if you're out here losing because you're choosing kids based on the religion that they practice and not their actual performance on the field, you'll be fired. Your team will suck. So that argument is out the window. You know, kids trying to appease their coach to get playing time. Well, maybe if you're not good, you could try that. But if the coach is doing their job, that's not going to matter. The best players play, and it's as simple as that.
Say to that player who might be a little upset by today's ruling?
And that's a great thing about being a coach, is that you are so tight with these kids. You spend so many hours with them, and the prayer is like a 15-second thing. It's not even a thought, you know, beginning thought or an ending thought anytime during any of the football program. And I had lots of kids that came up and said, you know, hey, coach, I don't want to, you know, I don't feel comfortable joining. Well, that's America. You can join, you cannot join. It's fully up to you. Who am I to say that you should do it? I mean, that's an individual liberty. And it's just great that I have my liberty. It's my freedom to be able to just have that moment prayer by myself. That's the way it started out for me, was just a moment of silent prayer by myself. I have no intentions of going back and wanting to pray with kids. It's just wanting the ability to thank God after a football game.
Yeah. You know, it always fills me with some sadness when Americans on issues big or small can't come to some sort of agreement without resorting to lawyers. No offense, Mr. Shackelford. I'm sure you're a very talented and sensitive litigant, or litigator, I should say. But I am curious, Mr. Kennedy, Coach Kennedy, why was it so difficult to find a compromise on this particular issue with the school district, which, as I understand it, they just didn't want you to do it at the 50-yard line. Is that right?
There was so many factors. At first, it was interesting that they changed the goalposts. They kept moving it on me. So first they said you could pray even when you're on duty, as long as it doesn't interfere with your coaching job. Well, that.
Of course, the goalpost always gets moved. That's the thing people do a lot these days.
That was never an issue, which was fine. Then they said, hey, we just don't want you to do it with the kids. And I agreed with them. Fine, I won't do it. I never prayed with them again. But then they were like, oh, we can still see you out there doing it, when I was doing it by myself. And that's when all negotiations broke down. Their lawyers got involved, and they just said, hey, you either stop praying or you can't coach here. So their lawyers messed it all up, and I'm on your side to, you know, Lawyers are, they're awesome.
Well, Mr. Shackelford, we don't want to ignore you, and you being the lawyer in this equation, are you going to advise Coach Kennedy to try and get his old job back?
That's the great thing about the case is Coach never asked for money. He only asked in this case, and the court says so in the opinion, for one thing, and that is that he have his job back and be able to go and say that 15, 20-second prayer after the game. And so he won. So that is what will happen this fall. Coach is going to be back on the field, and he's going to be allowed to pray. And as the court pointed out today, that's exactly what should happen. I mean, free speech and free exercise of the coach. And as long as there's no coercion, which in this case, there were specific facts that there was no coercion. And in fact, I mean, Coach mentioned earlier, the two kids that mentioned to him that they didn't want to pray, he made them the team captains. So this is the opposite. This is a guy who fought as a Marine for 20 years, understands the First Amendment.
Wow, that's a fact that I didn't know about the situation. So not only was he not coercing them to do anything that they didn't want to do, which is the right thing to do. If kids don't want to do it, they shouldn't be forced to do it. Now, I would completely disagree with this entire situation had he have been forcing kids to take part in the prayer. You shouldn't be forced to do that. Now, if the kids want to participate, all right, cool. But the fact that he took the two kids that didn't, or that said that they didn't want to pray, and made them the leaders of the group, I gotta respect that. It's a good coach right there. I don't know anything about this team, but just based on what I've been hearing, I mean, that's a good coach right there.
This is the opposite. This is a guy who fought as a Marine for 20 years, understands the First Amendment, and believes in everybody's right to express or not express whatever they desire. But the idea that you could shut down an American speech because somebody across the field can see him, and that might be somehow inappropriate, that's not America. We believe in people with different beliefs all having their First Amendment rights, and I think that was upheld in a strong way today by the Supreme Court.
And that's crazy. It's crazy that, they said that him praying at, midfield was inappropriate. Praying by himself. There's no nudity. There's no coercion. You know what I mean? There's no forcing anything upon anybody, but that's wrong. But yet, we have kids going to drag shows, and that's okay? I'm just confused. I'm lost. Somebody please explain that one to me. That makes zero sense to me. A coach praying by himself is wrong, but kids going to a drag show is okay. So is it okay if kids go to a strip club? You know what I mean? If we're going to be fair here, let's be fair and let's talk about it. We all saw the videos of the kids in the drag show. We all saw it. The videos were everywhere. It's not going to lick itself. That's fine. But a coach praying by himself at midfield is wrong.
And so, Coach Kennedy, now that you're going back to your old job and you're going to be allowed to pray, are you going to pray openly on the field or to the side? What are your plans?
Wow. I wish I had a good answer for that. I know that I'm going to thank God after every football game. I don't know. I'm going to have a new commitment with God because he's given me a second chance. And, I'll never give up my rights and I'll never give up thanking God. But where I do it, the great thing is the court says it doesn't matter where I do it. And that's America for you.
All right. Well,
hey, guys, I want to confirm, I might be slow to the news here, but just reading some of the coverage this morning, is it news that you're going back? Because I knew you intended to go back if you won the case, but I didn't know it was so quickly wrapped up in settled fact. Because you're living in Florida now, right? The weather's good there. You're definitely going back to Washington. The school district has signed off on it. This is a done deal?
No, it's not. And that's the part that I'm just waiting for. I'm waiting for the school to either give us a call or however the lawyers negotiate it. But I'm expected, a phone call from somebody and we can work all those details out. And hopefully I can be on that next flight back to Bremerton and be on that field that you see behind me.
So you are right now officially requesting to have your job back?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So, Mr. Shackelford, it looks like you still have a little work to do there in that regard. But if all works out, Coach Kennedy, you'll be back on the field soon. Anyway, congratulations to you. And
thank you.
And Kelly Shackelford, thanks so much to both of you for joining.
So, Constitution holds true once again. What a beautiful day. What a wonderful day in the neighborhood, you know? What a beautiful day. And like I said, the hypocrisy is crazy to me, and it needs to be called out. And I'm glad the justices ruled in the way that they did, because there's nothing wrong with that. There's no coercion. There's nobody being forced to do anything. And I would say that about any religion. If anybody wanted to go out and pray and they, weren't coercing anyone to do it and, did their own thing, there wasn't, any nudity or, anything overtly inappropriate, I'm fine with it. If you want to pray, do your thing. What's wrong with that? That's fair. If you're going to allow it for, Christians to go out and pray, you have to allow other religions to go out and pray as well. So that is completely fair. If y'all agree, let me know in the comment section. But also, I came across this Instagram post that I want to show you guys that was absolutely hilarious. This is so funny. You guys are about to have a good laugh with this one. Check this out. So Jemele Hill, the woke ESPN host who was fired, actually it's been a while now. Wow. It's probably been at least 4, maybe 5 years since she was fired. Had something to say in regards to this post. I'm going to read you what she said, and then I'm going to read you a couple of the replies. So, Jemele Hill said, "This post should provide the full context. The issue wasn't that the coach wanted to pray. The issue was the coach was coercing his players to pray, and some of them felt pressured to do something they didn't want to do. The Supreme Court's rulings set a terrible precedent that paves the way for more interference from religious right who are seeking to turn this country into an authoritarian white Christian nationalist nation." Y'all know that if this coach was Muslim, this case never would have reached the Supreme Court. See the bigger picture. Now, of course, she had to throw white Christian nationalist. But let me just read this first comment here. It says, "And that's why you get no ratings and got fired from ESPN. A race baiter you are." Oh man, wrong. Race. All you got? Yo, that's cap, because my football coaches also be praying, but no one feels pressured. I mean, and it continues on. It continues on, but if you guys want to go check out that post and read through all those replies, man, some of them are hilarious, just killing her. Just absolutely roasting her. Oh man, you love to see it. You love to see it. People called out on their BS and their race baiting, fear mongering, and all of this other stuff. It is absolutely crazy. But yeah, kudos to that coach. I hope he gets his job back. Seems like a decent guy to me. Seems like a decent coach. Like I said, I don't know their football record, but y'all let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. And lastly, if you want to support the channel more than what you already have by liking and subscribing and leaving a comment, as always, my PayPal link is in the description. Not a requirement, but greatly appreciate everyone that has already, sent me a care package. Thank you guys so much. You are greatly appreciated. It means the world to me. Thank you. But anyway, peace and love. I'm out.